This is Sean with Gate City Foundation Drainage. What I'm working on today is I'm going to be doing a service on this Kx080. I just bought this recently for a job coming up, and it's a used machine, so I want to get a new baseline going. I want to change all the fluids in it and get it in good shape. So let me get it pulled in the garage. Okay, I got this thing in the garage, even though this garage wasn't really meant for something this big, but it does fit. And what I have here is, I think, all the filters we are going to need to change every filter on this machine. So that's what we're going to get started doing. And I guess I'll get started by draining the oil, since the machine is nice and warm. Get some stuff opened up. So this thing appears to be in pretty good shape. It's got 2,600 hours on it, and I just bought it. So what I want to do at this point is just start a new baseline, basically. And what I want to accomplish here is just to start a new baseline for this machine with all new fluids and filters. And for what I spent on the machine, that is going to be a good investment. Just putting all new stuff in it to start fresh. Okay, so I see a few filters here. There's your fuel filter. Oh, look at that big guy. That must be a hydraulic filter. And there should be a filter inside, the pickup filter inside the tank there. And that looks like another fuel filter. And there should be an oil filter around here somewhere. Well, let me start looking this thing over and I'll be right back with you. The first thing I want to do here is start the oil draining, and my oil fill is right in there. And I'm not sure how much it's going to take, so I've got plenty of catch buckets here. That drain bolt was a 22 millimeter. I found the oil filter, which is right down in here, and I think it's going to be accessed from below. So what I want to work on is getting this little grate cover off of here. So let me get that done really quickly. I want to check the fill plug for any shavings, and it looks really clean, but it might not be magnetic. I don't think it's magnetic. What else have we got laying around over here? No, it's not magnetic. So, okay, well, a lot of plugs like this have a little magnetized tip, and they may get any metal shavings or filings attracted to them, so you want to get that cleaned up before you reinstall it. Yeah, you can see a lot more now up under there, and my oil filter, I think, is right up in there. I knew that was going to happen. I'm not having any luck getting on that oil filter from below, and there's not a lot of space in here, but I think if I take this guy out, that may give me enough space. So these are 12s right here. Oh boy, they do not make this super easy, do they? Okay, well, it's got me a pretty good like a huge mess right here either. That wasn't too bad. Hopefully you guys saw that. This thing's gonna fit back in here or not. I can feel that O-ring tighten up nicely. And I lost my bolt. They do not make this easy. Yeah. I think I got it. There's the Kubota oil filter and the old one that was on it, which was a Wix. I don't have anything against Wix. I use them all the time, but I'd rather just go with OEM. It's tight. That's for sure. See if I can just squeeze this fuel filter back into place. Maybe should have taken the lines off of it, but it does kind of fit. Oh, I gotta get this little clamp back around the way it's supposed to be. Next, I don't see why we can't work on this fuel filter. See if I can get that one to pop off of there. That one looks pretty new, but we are here. Alright, about to have a big mess of diesel. I think that just unscrews. Oh wait. There's a little wing nut on there. That's probably the drain actually, never mind. Yeah. There you go, look at that. Okay, am I gonna make a big mess here? Get my photo tray. Okay. It's also nice to have your photo tray here to see if you have any junk in there. I mean, that looked like a pretty new filter. My guess would be the dealership may have replaced it, but we are right over here replacing it anyway. Wish it didn't come with a new O-ring for that guy. I'm gonna put a dab of diesel on my O-ring there to put it back in place. There we go. Okay. 3 out of 8. I got those 2 fuel filters and the oil filter changed out, and before I break into the hydraulic system, you need to pop that cap and release any pressure. So let me see if I can get that popped. Hear that? So that's why you want to pop this before you break into the hydraulic system, because we've got pressure on there. Okay. So now that the pressure's released, I can now break into the hydraulic system. Next, I'm looking at the air box here, but if you look behind it, I think that filter right there is my pilot control filter. So I need to get that canister off there, but I think if I take this air box off, I'll have more access. Alright, these don't look too bad. And this one doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. So I may hang on to these as spares, but I want to replace them. But I'm hoping that that's going to give me enough clearance to get to that pilot control filter. So I think it will. It feels like a 24 maybe. As far as getting that canister off, it's a 24 millimeter and I routed around. There's a 24 millimeter oil filter cap and there's a regular 24 millimeter ratcheting. So let's see which one is going to work for me. Let some of those drippings catch in my canister here. I'm going to set that aside. Here is the new pilot control filter. So we're going to get that swapped back in. Interestingly, this did not come with a new O-ring, so I want to inspect that O-ring on there and make sure it looks good. I'm also going to clean out that canister, so I'll get back with you in a sec. But yeah, look at that. It looks like it's been pulled in just a little bit. I don't know if you all can tell that or not. But either way, it's getting a new filter. Just gonna slide that on there, and there it is. Take a dab of oil and just drop it on here. Drop it on the threads a little bit. Okay, and there's your 24 millimeter. So let's go get that back in place. For no reason, let's try the little 24 millimeter oil filter cap wrench. And we'll add on the new air filters. There's the outer. There's the inner. It looks a lot different than the old one, but it's a Kubota brand, so there we go. Three filters, it's 6. We've got 2 more. This big hydraulic filter here, it's telling you to drain the oil out, but I don't, from this plug right here, but I don't think I want to do that because there's not really a good way to catch it. So I think I'd rather just catch it all or leave it in the canister and drop it into a tub. Look at that. But I've never used these things. Golly. All right, Gorilla Grip, here we go. Get up on this side. There we go, look at that. That wasn't too bad. Okay. Okay. Well, that wasn't terrible. Ugh. Dealing with hydraulic fluid is always a mess. I want to take a look at what this fluid looks like. So I'll let that drain for a second. Take it over to the photo tray. Okay, that fluid doesn't look terrible, but I think I'm going to end up changing it out just for the heck of it. And I've already looked, it just doesn't look like there's a great way to do that without spilling it everywhere. And in case you all are wondering why I have so many photo developing trays, I used to work as a benthic macroinvertebrate biologist, and these trays are great for sorting river and stream macroinvertebrates, insects, whatever. And then after that, I worked at a community college teaching biology, and one of the things we used to do was go out in the pond and stream and collect insects and macroinvertebrates and sort them. So these photo trays work really well for sorting macroinvertebrates. They also work really well for assessing what might be in the filters on your heavy equipment. All right, I've got a couple of pig mats in here, trying to catch some of this, but take a look under here. You see that plug right there? That looks like it's right underneath the hydraulic tank. And so how am I supposed to catch that fluid coming out of there? Because it's going to land right on the undercarriage here, and it's assuming it's going to just spill all over this, and there's not really any room in there to get anywhere. Wonder if I should start it up and swing it. The problem is I don't have a lot of room in here to swing, and I've got to get the oil back in it before I start starting it up. So there's that plug right there. I bet if I swung it to 90 degrees, that plug would come right over here. Dang it. I don't think I've got 90 degrees to swing though. Clearly what you would want to do here is you would want to do the oil or the hydraulic fluid, one or the other, and then spin the machine so you can drain it properly. So what I've come up with is I'm going to pull that plug and I'm going to hopefully catch that fluid and drain it into a bucket here. So let's see how we do. Where'd my wrench go? That's a 19 millimeter. And I've got a feeling there's going to be a ton of fluid coming out of here. So I want to be quite quick about this. Don't drop the plug. I'm sure this looks pretty funny, you all. Look at that, though. I think it's gonna work. Oh boy. Yeah, that fluid definitely looks like it needs to be changed. So I just really made it more difficult on myself than it needed to be, but that's nothing new. Look at this mess. Oh, pigments. On my other Kubota excavator, there was I guess the suction filter is inside of here, but I didn't get that filter. I guess I didn't see it. So I'm gonna pop this top and see if there's a filter in there. But everything else is just, I've got a huge mess over here. So, yeah. Okay, that was easy. And this little breather hose can come right out of here. Oh, there's a big filter in there. Take a look. So, I guess I need to figure out what's going on with that filter. See if I can get a replacement. What do you think? You think this thing unscrews or pulls out? This pulls out, okay. Oh yeah. Look at that filter. Oh yeah, look at that. What a mess. Here we go, right there. Alright, well, I need to find that filter and get it ordered. And like I did on my other excavator, this thing needs to be cleaned out, but in this one I can actually reach in there. So there's still a lot of fluid in there though, which is annoying. But anyway, I guess I'll try to get it cleaned out. I'm going to try to soak up some of the fluid in there, but you want to be careful. You don't want to introduce a bunch of debris into that. So I cleaned my gloves. I've got clean pig mats. And I'm just gonna try to soak up whatever's left in there. Let those pig mats do their thing. Got oil all over my arm. So again, I'm trying not to knock a bunch of debris in there. Okay. I'm just gonna let those pig mats do their thing. Okay. While they do their thing, I'm going to put the lid back on. Because we don't need anything falling in there to contaminate the system. So there we go. While those pig mats are doing their thing, I'm going to start filling up the engine oil. And I moved my little Milwaukee light over here too, so I can see. I'll put a link in the description for this guy too. See if we can get that to pop off. This machine takes 2.5 gallons, or about 2.6 gallons. And so I've got an old jug, a 2.5 gallon jug of, this is T6, is what I put in my pickup trucks, but I've got just regular diesel 50 W40 in there. So this is actually really, really full. So I'm going to use it to measure out my oil. That jug was like filling to where it was overflowing, so I left a little bit in the jug, and I'll get this thing started up, let it warm up a little bit, check the oil, and top it off as needed. So the oil has been filled. I'm trying to get this mess all cleaned up, and I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets going to my local flaps. So I'm about to load those up and take them for recycling. Over here at the auto parts store, their oil drum was full, so they let me just drop my buckets and leave them.
I've only got 2 buckets of the 40 still.
I'm back out here today, and what I want to work on first is getting this tank cleaned out, and that return filter, the suction filter, it should be here today, so I'm hoping to wrap this up today. I just popped the top off of this thing, and it looks like my pig mats did soak up a bunch of the extra fluid in there, so this is going to be just a muddy mess, I think. I'm trying to get this cleaned up. I just wiped that out and it looks a lot better. Now obviously I can't reach like all the way back under here. The tank extends out a little bit, but I definitely wanted to give it the old college try here, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. And there's the old rags that came out of it. Next, I want to take a look at this water separator, so I'm going to turn the fuel to the off position and try to open this thing up. That wasn't very graceful, but oh well. So yeah, there was quite a bit of junk in there. That's what the water looks like when it mixes with fuel. So let me clean this up. You can see there's quite a bit of gunk in there, which is exactly what the separator is supposed to do. So I'm just going to clean this up with a paper towel, clean this up, and probably spray it out a little bit with maybe some brake cleaner, and put it back together. Okay, I hit that with the air gun, and that cleans it right up. That's your float, so that'll float up when it gets too much water in it and alert you. Okay, well, I made a huge mess of diesel. Trying to get all the air out of there. I don't know if it was worth it or not. All right, look what just arrived. So, if you go to replace this filter, make sure you brace yourself when you see the price of it. I guess it just fits on there. I didn't really see any threads on it, but... Oh, okay. I felt the O-ring. I felt its seat on there. Cool. I set the cover on and I can feel that spring under there. I can feel it pushing against me, so I'm pretty sure I'm seated the way I want to be. So, let me just go ahead and bolt this back on. First thing I want to do before I start filling it is put my drain plug back. I want to purge any fluid out of my pump first. Okay. So what I want to do next is fill up this canister filter and then reinstall it. So I'm just going to fill that up really quickly here. Okay. That guy's good and full. Now let me see if I can get this reinstalled. I've got my O-ring in place here, so don't forget about that. A new one comes with a new filter. I tried not to get fluid all over everything and have this all slippery on me, but I did it anyway. Okay, come on, baby. I bought this monster oil filter wrench from a lady that was selling a bunch of Snap-on and Blue Point tools, and I never really thought I'd need it, but boy, this is the right piece. Look at that. I'd have been beating this thing with a screwdriver, perhaps, if I didn't have this. Okay. Look at that. Okay, now all we need to do is fill it up. And I'm expecting it to take 4 buckets worth. So let's see how this little pump does. It's a lot better than trying to dump 4 buckets worth. I'll put a link in the description to this. That's the M18 Milwaukee. And they say it pumps oil just fine. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This is bucket number 4, so I'm going to keep a close eye on my watch glass here. It looks pretty much bone dry right there, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Oh, I see the float coming up. Look at that, that's a nice feature. A lot of times it's hard to see that brand new fluid, but look at that, it's got that little ball on it. Okay, I've got these hoses on quick disconnects just for this purpose. So let's see where we landed with 20 gallons. Looks pretty good, I would say. And I think I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm sure there's some position that the boom should be in when you're checking this fluid. So if I pull that thing in a little bit, it's gonna push more fluid into the reservoir. So I think I may be good where I'm at. Okay, what else have we got to do here? I'm over here looking at the coolant, and I just popped the top here, and the coolant is right where it's supposed to be, and it looks perfect. So I don't think I'm going to worry about draining that. And I'm looking for one more filter that I think is on this machine. At least I ordered it, and it looks like a pilot filter, and some of the places online are calling it a fuel separator or an oil separator filter, but I can't find where it goes. So I know there's I think it goes to this machine. It was on the list, the parts list that I looked at. Maybe I'll go look it up again. See if I can find it. Okay, I was just making sure you guys were paying attention and hadn't fallen asleep. That's my oil separator right there. Let me get that changed out really quickly. Here we go. So far, so good. Look at that goo in there. Okay, there's the oil separator element, and there's the cap. So I want to clean this up. There's definitely some gunk in there. The new element comes with a new O-ring, so we've got to get that O-ring off of there. Of oil just to lube up this O-ring a little bit. Get that back on there. It goes either way. Okay, let's get that back in there. Okay, I got that oil separator element or filter right there, and I think that's it. I just checked the oil. The oil is in the range it's supposed to be in. Hydraulic fluid is in the range it's supposed to be in. So I think I'm ready to give this thing a start. And once I do that, I'll be changing the final drive fluid. Before I get too far, let me just see I've got to go forward just a hair to get that at the 6 o'clock position. So I think I'm ready to try starting this thing. And it started very easily before, but since we've been inside the fuel system, it may not start right away, or it may start with whatever fuel is in there and then die right away. So let's give it a try. Okay, well, that started way too easily. I just moved this track here with that plug to the 6 o'clock position, so let me get that final drive fluid changed really quickly. Okay, I think these are 8s hex. It's a pretty tight. Yeah, that fit in there really nicely. Now these might be really, really tight, so I've got a 1/2 inch hex bolt, or hex here. Oh yeah, look at that. That came out easily. Try to get this pan under here best I can. Hopefully there's fluid in here. Okay. Oh man, gear oil just stinks. Okay. Let that drain for a minute. And we'll get it swapped out. Hopefully this pan will hold it without tipping too much. There we go. You can put regular 80-90 gear oil, but I've got 75-140 synthetic. This is a little bit nicer fluid. So I've already got some, so I'm going to use it. I don't know that it makes any difference at all, but I'm going to flush a little bit of this new fluid in here. Maybe try to push some of that old black fluid out. Well, that fluid's clear coming out of there, so let me just go ahead and put the plug back in it. And we'll fill it up. Okay, this is just as easy as filling it up until it spills out. Get my plug ready. Yeah, it's full now. Okay, well, there we go. Okay. And that's all that is. Let me go do the other side. I got the other side. The drain popped and the thing is draining. So luckily there was fluid in there too. So I'll get that changed out and I'll be right back with you. Okay, this thing's looking really good. I just checked the oil and added a drop of it. I got the cage thing back on there. And the last part of my service for this is to add actually probably a couple of fire extinguishers. So this machine doesn't have any, I didn't see. So I've got to figure out where to put those. I may just kind of loosely put one in that little cubby right there. But yeah, it's important to have a fire extinguisher in working condition. So anytime you service your machine, make sure you service the fire extinguisher with it. Okay, that's on there. And then I've got another one and I just threw it in there. So that should be pretty easy to access if needed. And same with that one. It's really, really important to have fire suppression around. You see I've got one there, got one there by the light switch, got one over there, and I've got fire extinguishers in most of my trucks, I think, if not all of them, and in my cars, just in the back seat. So if you need a fire extinguisher, there's no substitute for it, and I saved a house one time with a fire extinguisher. So anyway, I think this thing is ready to be put into service, and I'm going to be changing out this Wayne Roy with a Kubota coupler, so let me know if you want to see that whole process. Hey viewers, this is Sean. If you made it all the way to the end, I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you'd like to support me, you know what to do. Hit the like button and comment. You can also support me via the links in the description. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.